Hey everyone, happy Thursday evening. I'm Alexis from Purposeful Indulgence. I'm the owner and maker here at Purposeful Indulgence. And I'm a woman on a mission called She's Wearing All the Hats. It's a journey in discovering self-care for the modern day woman who's wearing all the hats. Tonight, I wanted to talk about some self-care for the mind. So, I don't know about you, but I'm going to put this out there. So much to do, to remember, to plan, and when you finally take your tired, stressed, overworked butt to bed, you climb in, you lay down your head on the pillow, you close your eyes, and go to sleep, right? No? Doesn't happen for me either. Is there a circus in there? Do you have the song, I'm So Dizzy, playing on repeat because your head's literally spinning with making lists and plans and mental notes of things that you forgot, or replaying your day and becoming overwhelmed with guilt because you only got this much done and you wanted to get this much done? Maybe you even get that awful feeling. You know that feeling when it feels like you're on the roller coaster and you hit a dip and your stomach kind of drops out of your body? Does that ever happen to you at bedtime when you're like, oh, I have so much to do? That happens to me. I posted the other day a little cute graphic about, my mind is like a computer with 19 tabs open. 3 of them have that little rainbow spinning wheel of death. That's what we lovingly call it at work. And music is playing, and where on earth is it coming from? This is on the daily, 24/7. So what are we going to do about it? Well, caring for your mind is one of the most important facets of self-care. Sometimes, or most of the time, we become mentally exhausted before we ever become physically exhausted, because it takes longer for that to catch up. So what can we do about it? All the things. And with all the things, the guilt, the chaos, the feeling like we're never going to get it all done. What can we do? One word: declutter. So while preparing for this live, I intended for it to be a quick introduction to a self-care technique, but I soon realized that there are parts to this mission. So today we're going to introduce. Part 2 will be organize, and part 3 will be prioritize and take action, which sounds so accomplished, right? But we have to start somewhere. So today, I'm going to talk about how to declutter your mind with, don't be shocked by the fanciness of this term, a brain dump. Is anyone already using this technique of a brain dump? I'll be raw, real, and transparent and tell you that I only started this recently, and oftentimes it's ugly, both literally and figuratively, but I'm finding it such a great way to clear out my mind so that I can go to sleep. What is a brain dump? It's not fancy. It doesn't require special equipment. And your mind is going to supply you with more than you've probably bargained for. As I mentioned, this is a process, and the actual brain dumping is only part 1. We'll get to the other parts after we've mastered this one, which I say mastered haha, but let's give it a go. You're going to need a place to write. Now that could be pen and paper. It could be the notes app on your phone, or there are a couple brain dump apps, which I downloaded 3 last night, and I'll be honest, one was called Brain Dump. I'll post what the other ones were called. I wasn't impressed with any of them. They were no better than my notes app, and my notes app felt a whole lot more organized. And I go between pen and paper and my notes app, just depending on my mood. You'll also need a good few uninterrupted minutes. Where are you going to find that time? Well, the time of day that you want to do a brain dump definitely depends on you. If you're a morning person, you might get up and spill it all out so you can start your day. If you're a nighttime person like me, my best thoughts happen I think after midnight. You know that saying, like, nothing good happens after 2 a.m.? For me, that's when my brain's like, oh, and I can do this and this and this, and that's when I need a brain dump. So you'll need to think about when your mind feels most cluttered and decide when you're going to do it, what you're going to need when you do it, and get yourself a few uninterrupted minutes. For me, you know my love for my extra large heating pad that's always on my lap when I'm trying to talk to you guys. So I heat one of these up before bed every night. Now, microwave ovens vary. However, ours is, how long have I been married? Like 12, almost 13 years. We got it for our bridal shower, and it's like, we always like have to press really hard to get the button to go, and we look at each other like, one day this is just not going to work. So it takes me 7 minutes to heat it up. Might not take you that long if your microwave technology is newer than mine. But that gives me 7 minutes, and I'll either sit there and type things on my phone, or I'll grab my notebook and just start jotting things down. Now, there's no rules to the brain dump when the time is right for you, what you're going to put it on, or what you're going to put in it. So you're going to sit down, no rhyme or reason, dump your thoughts out of your mind. Nothing is too trivial to note. It can be in a list, as a journal entry, or literally all over the page. I find, and this is kind of funny, but I find that when I do a brain dump, my brain dump actually looks a little more organized than my notes during a meeting. During a meeting, my notes are usually written like all around the page, and sometimes we have like little cute things that go around them. When I'm brain dumping, I am pen to the paper or fingers to the keyboard, and there's like nothing stopping me. And so you have a lot of things on your mind, and in your busy life of wearing all the hats, this could take a while, right? Like you're thinking, okay, she wants me to write down everything that's in my brain. I'm going to be here till next week. Well, do yourself a favor and set a timer. So for me, it's that 7 minutes while my heating pad is warming up, and I set the goal to just dump my thoughts. And when I say like this is stage 1, you literally just want to put them on paper. Don't worry about getting them organized. Don't worry about putting them in a to-do list. Don't worry about adding things to your calendar. Just take it from here and put it on here or on your phone. And if the timer goes off and you're not finished, give yourself 5 more minutes, then close it up. Because really, like, it could be a rabbit hole and you could get lost forever. So instead of focusing on, oh my goodness, look how much is on this list or on this brain dump and how many things are in my mind and how will I ever get all of this done, congratulate yourself on getting those thoughts out of your head, out of your mind, and capturing them, because they'll be there tomorrow, or they'll be there next time you're ready to go and look at the brain dump. And I'll tell you how I use mine. So I totally adhere to not fancy, just a literal dump of my brain. And I, like I said, either put them on my phone or I put them in a little notebook. And it's not totally huge. It can fit in my purse. And I actually have some smaller ones that I'm thinking about putting in the shop. Just because it's nice to have it on the go. Because I do the brain dump. And then the next day when I'm like, okay, let me think about what I had to do, I start looking through, and this was last night. So I start looking through and seeing like, okay, I have all this stuff written down. What do I need to, it was about 3 pages last night. What do I need to do? It's all there for me, and it wasn't in here clouding up my mind, because your brain is actually wired to be a problem solver and to be an accomplisher. And when you have all this clutter and all these lists and all these to-dos and things to remember swirling around in there, making you feel bad, and they're actually keeping you from getting things done. So productivity is a byproduct of this. We're not going to get into that, but like, do your brain a favor and let it do what it's supposed to do. So if you do your brain dump at night, you should be able to head to bed, close your eyes, and hopefully be prepared with a clear mind for some quality rest. Or if you're a morning brain dumper, you can start your day or your next task knowing that if it was on your mind, you put it here, it's safe there, and you're free to focus on whatever comes next. If freestyle, just the dump, isn't for you, there's some free worksheets available on Pinterest. And I started a board, if you follow me on Pinterest, I started a board called Brain Dump. We're just at Purposeful Indulgence on Pinterest if you want to go and check it out. On there, I pinned some things that I thought would be helpful if you wanted to be a little more organized in your brain dump. Totally not necessary. It needs to be what's best for you. But they're there if you want to go and look. And I'm going to be adding some things to that board as I look at the next phase of brain dumping, the organization phase, which we're not worried about now. So just get it out. Why does brain dumping qualify as self-care? Well, our brains are wired to solve problems, like I said, not to have these running lists of things we need to do. And I don't know about you, but the running list of things we need to do always have to do with like other people and not me. And like, do my kids have clean baseball uniforms? And what do we have going on this weekend? And did I get a gift for that birthday? And all the things. If I put them here, then I can focus on the task at hand and get to them whenever I need to. Therefore, freeing myself up from that guilt. If you clear the clutter, like the KonMari method that's so popular this year, that's clearing the clutter in our environment, which that's a whole other little post that we can talk about. If you clear the clutter in your mind, you can free yourself to focus. And I don't know about you, but that's something I struggle with so much. But when I can focus, I can get things done. And when I can get things done, I feel so much better about myself. When I feel better about myself, I know that I've cared for myself. So, the giant running list in your mind, it's kind of like an anchor. It's holding you back. It's holding you back from being the best that you can be and giving the best that you can give to others. I was talking the other night to a friend about the whole self-care mission and, what I really wanted to accomplish by this. And I've said before, it's a journey, not a mission. And we all have cups. We know the saying, like, you can't pour from an empty cup. We all have cups that are worth filling. Like, you have to get to a point where you're like, I'm not so overwhelmed by this crazy that I can think to myself, I'm worth it. I'm worth filling this cup because I know if I fill the cup, I can give more to others. And when I can take the good that I'm doing for myself and spread it, is that not a beautiful thing? You fill your cup because you're worth it. And because empty doesn't have to cut it. Just because we're wearing a bazillion hats and doing all the things doesn't mean we have to walk around empty. And if it's something little like clearing your mind so that you can accomplish a task and feel a little bit better about yourself, I'd say that's a job well done. I think that's it, actually. Does anyone have any questions about brain dumping? I use my notes app on my phone, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Notes app, but you can have folders. So I have a folder that says brain dump. So when I find myself, I have a few small shop friends, and I don't know, creative people are like nighttime people. And so we'll get going with a million ideas when it's like time to definitely be going to bed. And it's like, okay, headed to do a brain dump. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Then I pull it out and I have the date and the brain dump so that the next time I talk to that person, I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember I had this idea for you. And it's not in there all day clouding me up from getting done what I need to get done. Or like I said, put your notebook in your purse and you can jot things down in not a designated 10-minute, 7-minute time frame, whatever. But it's so great to just have it to look at, to be like, okay, yeah, I wanted to make sure I did that today. It can look however you want it to look. It's your thing, it's your mind, and it's you that you're taking care of. So, that being said, you want to know more about brain dump or get a template for organizing your brain dump, head over to Pinterest, Purposeful Indulgence. The board is called Brain Dump. I think it says Brain Dump, Declutter Your Mind or something. And there's like tons of good pins there. I've checked them out. No wasting your time. That's precious. And this video will head over to our YouTube channel. So if you didn't catch the whole thing, the replay will be available on the page too. But if you didn't catch the whole thing and you want to, that's where you can find it. And you can also find it on YouTube. And if you go there, subscribe, because then I'll know that you found me, because I'm new to all this. And, you know, like there's kids who open eggs filled with toys and they can have a YouTube channel and they get it, and well, their parents probably get it, but you know, new to me. So if you go subscribe, and I'll know that you found me. Okay, coming up this week with Purposeful Indulgence, I'll just sneak this in. Probably on Saturday or Sunday, I'll probably do the Mother's Day sneak peek and show you what the bundles are going to look like. And we have some new earrings coming to the shop. And I don't want to say too much because we have a couple kind of big things in the works. So definitely stay tuned to the page, because some of them are like big and exciting. And I want you to know about them, so make sure you stay tuned. So Casey, she's listening while she's cleaning her kitchen because she has too much to do and too little time. And if you agree with Casey, you could give her a thumbs up. I'm going to leave you guys with the thought of the brain dump. And I'm going to ask in the group if anyone has tried it. And you don't have to say what you put in your brain dump, because really, like, sometimes when I read my brain dump, I'm like, seriously, that was in your head? You don't have to put what you put in your brain dump, but definitely comment if you try this, because I'm finding it to be so beneficial, and I hope that you'll try it and also find some benefit to it as well. So when we see you again with she's wearing all the hats, we will move on to organizing our brain dump, prioritizing and taking action on things in our brain dump, and maybe we'll be able to combine those. And then I have some other fun things that I want to share with you. Jen's asking, do you ever find it hard to write something down? Like something that's bothering you a lot. And, if you put them down, you're admitting they're there. I could see this being a small hurdle for me. I agree, Jen. You know how, like, it can swim around in here, and when you say it out loud, that makes it real, and that's so scary. The benefit to this is only yours. So if you put it out there, you get it out of here, and then you can do what you need to do with it. It's something that you might have to work up to, but I find myself writing things like, I have plans for products I want to create for She's Wearing All the Hats. We don't even have the blog yet, girlfriend. Like, there are crazy things going on in this brain, and I put them in here, and I'm like, okay, when I'm ready, I'm going to come back to them because I have them safe here. It is yours. So be brave and use it to benefit yourself. Jennifer says she's recently started doing this and didn't know it had a name. Yes, it's a brain dump. So I was thinking about this earlier, Jennifer. I'm a teacher, and I can remember I'm an instructional coach now, so I'm all math, but I did teach first and second grade and special ed for 10 years before that. And you would sit kids down and you would say, okay, let's do a brainstorm, and you'd have the umbrella and then all the ideas. This is not a brainstorm, although in here it might feel like a brainstorm. This is a brain dump. This is a literal, like, bleh, get it out. Like, did you ever feel like you were speaking and you had, like, diarrhea of the mouth and you just could not control what was coming out of there? Yeah, that's what this is for. Sue writes in a journal every day, and it definitely helps. Good for you, Sue, because I have bought the cutest journals over the years. I really like the kind that are covered in glitter, but I like anything covered in glitter. And I always buy the cute journals, and then with the intent to, like, I'm going to journal every day, and I will, like, do it for, like, 2 days, and then I'm like, yeah, rip those pages out, throw them away. I'm putting my to-do list in here, and I always revert to that. So for me, this is like what I see to be a stepping stone to get me to the point of being able to journal every day. Right now, I'm just getting it out of there. Thanks for your questions, guys. Becky, oh yes, excellent technique for people with anxiety and keeping things in perspective so they don't feel overwhelming. I can imagine that you have full notebooks, and I agree. And I think that's where the whole, when you go to bed and you have all that stuff like swimming in your head, and then you get the feeling of the roller coaster ride in your stomach, that's anxiety. And that's when, I don't know about you guys, but if I get that feeling and I'm laying in bed, that's when my eyeballs pop open and I'm like, well, there's not going to be sleep tonight. I'm thinking, I go like surface when that happens. Did I turn off the stove? Did I lock the door? Are the backpacks packed? Does everyone have their lunches? Did I put drops in Andrew's eyes? I go surface when that happens, and then I can't even focus to do something like this. So that's definitely a great point to have made about helping with anxiety and keeping perspective. I've also said before, I have this giant heating pad on my lap, and the gentle pressure definitely helps with anxiety as well. So if you are a person who is struggling not only with so much going on in your mind, but having anxiety on top of it, maybe to the point where all of this makes you feel a little out of control, then brain dump and get yourself a heating pad for your lap. Because I'm telling you, I sit here before I come on to talk to you guys, and my palms are sweaty, and I go in and I put on deodorant like 4 times, and I'm like, oh. and then I come on and I start talking, and I'm like, okay, I could do this. And I put this on my lap, and the whole time I'm like, all right, I could do this. Do what gives you comfort. That's self-care. That's taking care of yourself. Jen, you're right. You have to schedule it in. And like I said, don't think of it as something like when you have to schedule in getting your hair cut. Like, my hair needs cut and colored so bad, but in the past couple months, there was no time for me for getting a haircut. And because that takes so much time. This, set your timer, give yourself a few minutes, and just get it out. And try it once and see if it makes you feel a little better. And if it does, please come back and tell me. Diane, yes, you definitely need to try this. I hope you do. And then I hope you tell me about it. On that note, I will leave all of you guys because I know everyone doesn't stay up as late as I do. And I encourage you to spend a little time on your notes app or with a piece of paper and a pen and get it out. Care about your mind. Care about your guilt level and your focus and your anxiety, and put things into perspective and just get it out. Because when it's here, it's not here anymore. Take care, guys. Have a great night.